of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.
Hey, everybody. This is Jeanne Robertson from Tallahassee, Florida. I'm down here for a show tonight at the Moon Theater. I've not seen this theater before, but it's smaller than we've been when we've been here before and sold out because of COVID. If you're in the area, I'd love to have you come. So right now, I'm in the lobby of my hotel, and look what I found. For those of you who've been following my shows, look. White chairs and an electrical box, but we don't pay any attention to that. And back home on the porch is Tony Meredith, my assistant, and of course, Patrick Henry. Hey, Patrick, are you there?
We're here.
And y'all came on a Saturday morning, even though I'm not there, because hey, Tony. Hello. Did Tony just sit down? Did she take a grandchild to a soccer game? Did you take Robert to a soccer game, Tony?
No, I took him and dropped him at the Y for a basketball game.
Okay.
But spectators can't go in, so we're not missing seeing him. We get to watch it later on tape. They film it.
Okay, great. And you said that you asked me, was it a full day of sports at Elon that y'all couldn't get in for breakfast?
It was crowded. We got in, but it was crowded at Skids and Elon this morning because I know they're playing football, they're playing baseball, and I think Elon's plan was to do all 17 sports this spring. So There's a lot going on. It's a lot of fun, and it's a beautiful day here. A little bit cool in the 50s, but it's really pretty.
Isn't it funny in March to be saying there's a football game this afternoon? That's just unbelievable. And in my hotel, I kept seeing buses pull up and nobody get off. And I thought, of course, they're coming to my show. Where are they? They're not coming to my show. But in a few minutes, the University of Virginia baseball team came downstairs. I was trying to move this white chair into place, and one of the coaches came over and said, "Ma'am, can I help you?" And I said, "Yes." And then they're going to play Florida State, which, of course, is based here in Tallahassee. So I would say to you, after flying here yesterday, I see a little glimmer of light. Let me tell you the 2 or 3 things that I saw yesterday in the airports. I flew out after I did the radio show with Neil Steele, got up early, dressed, had my stuff packed and ready to go, did the radio show. Then we headed to the Greensboro, High Point, Winston-Salem Regional Triad, Piedmont International, what local people still call the new airport. And I flew from Greensboro to Atlanta to Tallahassee, and came to the hotel. I have a membership in the Delta Crown Room, which is, that's not the name, it's the old name, and I still call it that. I went up fully expecting a sign to be on the door that said closed, but it was open to a certain number of people, and I didn't have to wait in line. But when I got inside, I was floored after you checked in. They had all kind of food out in packages. You could pick up peanuts, you could pick up those little goldfish, you could pick up a sandwich. And I said, well, this is interesting because it had been closed. So then when I got here and came on, and people were on the airplane, everybody was separated. When I went on, they gave me a bottle of water, which is fine. I didn't expect any more. They were taking all these precautions. I came out, got in a cab looking around. Cab driver was all masked up, and I had on mine, and we came to the hotel. And I'm at a hotel in downtown where I can go up to the 17th floor and look around the whole campus. You can see for miles. It's beautiful. And this is a funny hotel. Those of you who travel will love this hotel because I, my friends, this time am at a DoubleTree hotel. Do you know what that means, Tony?
Cookies.
Cookies. Patrick, you get them too. If you check in a DoubleTree hotel, they will give you the famous DoubleTree cookie in a badge. Chocolate chip is big, homemade. You'll never taste one like it. And if you say, oh, I've traveled all day and I love my cookie, they will give you a cookie to eat. And then probably what this lady did yesterday, they will give you a second cookie because you just milked it for so much. And this is a good cookie. And then,
Milk cookies.
and then this morning I got up, and this is unbelievable because, as you know, you'll see people walking behind me. This is the lobby of the hotel. I thought somebody might come over and talk to me, but they haven't yet. I think I scare them. But I went for breakfast, and I was fully expecting, as I have had 2 or 3 times when I've traveled, the free breakfast in all of the. I like all of the hotels. I mean, I don't Marriott, Hampton Inn, all of the ones that we go to, and they have a free breakfast. This one was not free this morning, but at these breakfasts, it's all packaged. This morning, this is a ray of light. This morning, I went in and I said, where do we pick up the breakfast? And she said, oh, what would you like? And I got an omelet and potatoes and all this kind of stuff and sat and read my book. So that's the first time that has happened. So for me, that's a big ray of light that maybe in 6 more months, you just never know. I can be traveling. I'll tell you, when I sat down in the seat of that airplane yesterday, if you travel 23 days of the month for years, then trust me, getting to sit down in the airplane and take off on a pretty day was wonderful. Remember, I had airline tickets 2 weeks ago, but the horrible weather that affected our friends in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, all those places, Mississippi, I ducked, canceled my airline ticket, and we drove the whole way. So I just see a little ray of light, and I hear all these voices in the background, and I had to get special permission. I said, if I drag my chairs to that corner over there, will you let me be on my computer for an hour without a mask on? And she said, ma'am, if anyone is around you, you have to have on a mask. I said, I know that, but nobody's going to be around me because they're doing their things. And so far, if they come, I have a mask on and that kind of things. I've had all my shots. I've tested negative. But so I see a little ray of light out there for all of us. And what we're going to do today, Patrick and Tony are invited to join in. We're going to start off by giving prizes. Patrick, there's Tony. Do you have the bucket in the bag, or does Patrick?
I do.
Tony has
I'm
it.
ready.
What did y'all decide?
I
Who's
have
gonna
everything.
draw the names? Okay. First of all, I want you to not draw a question. I want you to draw out of the green bag. And this, see, we start over.
I'm in the green bag.
Every month we start over at the beginning of the month. And this is what, the 6th of March. So this is the first batch of the people in here. They're not as
Right.
many. So
There's
draw
plenty,
out
but
and
there's
give
not.
a book.
Yeah.
Give a book.
Okay.
Who's going to get it?
I got one in my hand. Wait just
Okay.
a minute. I will open it. Olivia Ramirez
Okay.
is our
Doesn't say
winner.
where she's from.
Does not say.
Okay, Olivia, and anybody else whose names are drawn off during the program. You can, if I say it's for a book or a DVD or the baseball cap that says Left Brain on it, then you can, if you already have one, or you would rather change and have another DVD, or if you want a book signed to somebody other than you, you get in touch with Tony anyway to give her your snail mail address. And it's Tony, Toni with an I, at JeanneRobertson.com, Tony?
Yes, and Patrick has it on the screen.
Okay, right there. Well, I'm telling you, just like that. Very good. So I just said snail mail, and I've been criticized by people with the post office for saying snail mail. But what I mean is there's a difference in email and mail that comes to your box. And we have to send the book to the one that comes in your box. So I guess the politically correct term would be regular mail. But there's one prize. And Tony, let's give another one right here in the beginning.
Okay.
Before we do the questions. This is for a book, not the book that is the audio book that Patrick and I did. This is a regular book. And the winner is?
This is Judy Whitley, Whitley. Says, looking forward to seeing you.
Okay.
Don't know.
Well,
I do not know.
Wonder if she's coming to the show tonight. You never know.
Well, she could be. It says looking forward to seeing you, so maybe so. Judy Whitley.
Oh my gosh, do you see what Patrick has put? Listen to this. This is unbelievable. I love these stories and I love Jeannie. I have her autograph when she was Miss North Carolina.
My
Say,
good. I bet
say,
the paper's yellowed
how old are you?
and
Don't
probably
play for the
died
crack
of
in
dry
your.
rot.
What did I sign? And I would have signed it, of course, Jeannie
Chiseled.
Swanner. Miss, what'd you say, Patrick?
Was it chiseled on a
It was,
slate?
no, it was not chiseled. For Pete's sake, you weren't born,
50,
but
almost 58 years ago. That's a good piece
this
of paper.
July, 58 years this July. Can you believe that? And you still have the autograph. I know it's valuable. So that's 2 books we've given away, and let Tony know exactly who you thinks will the how you want the book signed. Okay, at this point, ask a question out of the yellow smiley bucket, Tony.
Okay. Did we tell people that we're on Wi-Fi in where you are and you're freezing up and moving on? Just don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, and you told me to tell people that when
Because
it
you are
freezes
doing
up,
that.
all right,
We
when
just don't
it
want them to think it's not coming back because it
no,
moves on out. Let's see.
we're doing the best we
Oh,
can. And let me tell you something. Last night I had so much trouble getting in with Patrick. I could not get in. So finally I said, Patrick, let me hang up. I'm going down to the lobby and talk to a student. And I went to the lobby and there was a woman in there. I think her name was Madison. And I said, can you help me with this? She said, sure. She's in graduate school at FSU. So she just blah, 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 blah. And I said, Madison, tell me that you'll be here tomorrow. She said, I'll be here tomorrow. I said, can I count on you helping me? Yes, I can. Came down here, no Madison. And I said to another student behind the desk, where is Madison? I need Madison. She said, she doesn't come in till 3. And I said, well, she was going to help me if I had a problem on the computer. Can you do it? And then she said, as well as Madison can. Don't you love young people? Okay, so who won? What's the question?
no, this is a question. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is from Rhonda Grayson. Go or Guff, Gough. I'm not sure how
Okay.
you would pronounce it. My question is, did you ever coach basketball on the college level?
Okay. All right. Let me give you the history of this. We had a very nice man come from a television station in North Carolina. When was it? Thursday of this week, Tony? And he said, tell
Yes.
us about playing in college. Let me make sure you understand. Now get ready to say, no way, because when I was in college was pre-Title IX. People my age know what that means, but younger people in particular say, you mean girls didn't get to play? No, we did not get to play. So when I graduated from Auburn in 67, I had played strong intramurals, and we had a few secret games that I can tell you about sometime where we didn't tell people we were playing other colleges, but you really didn't have that. But when I got out of school, I started coaching in high school. Then Title IX passed, and women could now play sports. Isn't that wonderful? And I coached at Judson College in Alabama. I taught at Auburn a year when I got out of school in the physical education department, but no Title IX, no sports. I didn't dream of being a coach. We just wasn't available for women. And of course, then it was into the Olympics and others things, and Title IX passed that said women could play sports. And I think that was like 73, something like that. But I did coach at Judson College in Marion, Alabama. I taught 9 years, and I coached what we had at the time then. I would not say that it is like the coaching now. Everybody was new, the whole everything. We were all so excited to be allowed to play. We actually still played in our PE uniforms, and we didn't have big uniforms for another year or so. So if I had not gone into speaking, I would be coaching, I'm sure, or would have coached by now, retired. But once I found out about speaking and making people laugh, I knew what I was going to try to do the rest of my life. And I did coach in high school, coached in high school in Durham, what we had, and in Selma, Alabama, and in Gosh, it seems like somewhere else, Auburn, maybe. No, not in high school, junior high. I practiced taught. So that answers that question. Now, Tony, what you do is you throw that, throw that one up
I put it in the prize bag.
so she can get a prize, baby. Okay. Ask
Right.
another question. Patrick, just jump in anytime. I don't guess you knew when the NCAA let women play.
I saw a question and I can't find it. I saw it earlier that goes in with what you just said. Someone asked, and I'm sorry, if I find it, I'll read the name. But they said they were amazed that you are doing what you do at your age. But they wondered if you had kept teaching instead, do you think you would still be teaching? This was written by a person who is a teacher and said, I don't think I'll be doing this in my 70s. So
no, I would not be. I would still not be teaching. The reason would be I would be in jail because I'd have slapped one of them by now and gotten in all kind of trouble, saying something like pull up your pants, do some. No, I love teaching. I love all 9 years of teaching, and I love my students. But I was speaking on the weekends because that's what I did immediately after being Miss North Carolina. For those of you who don't know, pageants take a lot of criticism and some of it's justified. But the year I was Miss North Carolina, I got to make more than 500 little speeches, not 1.5 hour shows like I do now. But you would go and you would speak in a town 2 or 3 times each day. And when the year was over, I had done that many. And the week after that, I spoke at 3 conventions in North Carolina, and I became a professional speaker. Didn't even know what I was doing. I went back to Auburn and graduated, and I taught and I coached. But I began to try to balance teaching, coaching, and traveling every weekend to speaking. And something had to give, and I just knew that I could make money giving speeches. And when I quit, all the teachers I was teaching with in Durham said, you think you can just waltz back in here next year, Jeannie, and get this teaching job back? You're giving up a good teaching job. And I said, I know. And I was, but I just knew I could do something else. And I knew I was going to speak. I was already speaking. So does that answer that question?
I think so.
All right, another question. People always say, you don't answer enough questions. So this week I'm my special guest. So y'all, here they come.
Here's a question that I'm not too sure what this means. Mary Hustler from Sacramento, California.
Okay.
She said, hi, Jeannie. I wanted to ask what is yours and Tony's favorite casserole? Did you all have a funny time with making it or sharing a casserole? Why does anyone think you've ever made a casserole?
Well, we don't cook together for one thing, but I know what is her name Mary? Mary, I know what you're aiming at. You're trying to point up again that apparently Patrick's family, Tony is Patrick's mother-in-law, that end of the family, all think that I make the worst string bean casserole ever made, and they will not permit me to bring a string bean, and I make a darn good string bean casserole. I messed up one time.
That's one contest you win.
We do permit you to make it. We just don't permit you to bring it into the house.
No. What was wrong with the casserole? Patrick, what was wrong with the casserole I bought?
I think the green beans are supposed to be cooked.
And the onions are definitely supposed to be cooked.
And it all should be sort of hot.
Well, I forgot that I was supposed to bring the string bean casserole until about 20 minutes before y'all were picking me up. I threw the ingredients in a pan. I was going to put it in their microwave when I got there. Marilyn, your mother was there. She had more dishes than God.
You were going to put it in the oven, I think, and the oven was already full.
And so I just put it on the counter and said, we need to heat this up. I hadn't cooked it any. It was a little raw onions too. And then nobody, and all of a sudden an hour later we're eating and this thing is put on the table cold, and you would have thought that I had got stuck somewhere and killed Betty Crocker. I've never seen anything like it. I have thought about it.
Crocker would have been warm.
Yeah. I think our answer to this, our favorite casserole, is probably anyone that comes from a good caterer.
Oh yeah.
Maybe from Michelle's locally. Any place anybody else is making a casserole, we like that one the best,
No,
right?
the lady at home that makes 3 casseroles only. Lasagna.
Oh, Vicky, yeah, Vicky.
Vicky.
Well, it
Oh
makes
yeah.
chicken pies. Vicky makes chicken pies, chicken tetrazzini, and a lasagna. That's it.
But the
You're
only
right.
problem with that is every time you put one on the table, somebody says, "Oh, you've been to Vicky's," and
Yeah, well,
everybody
that's
knows
true.
it's so good.
But no
But
one
I don't
minds.
make. You know what I'm going to
Okay.
do?
Well, let me interrupt you. So,
To
when
talk
we
about
started,
how badly I cook.
no. I was going to say that you did redeem yourself. You made a pot of green beans that was delicious, and also every time we're doing something where baked beans are appropriate, my daughter Meredith insists that you bring baked beans. So
Thank you. And the
you've
secret
redeemed yourself.
ingredient to good baked beans is this: 1 can of baked beans, 1 box of brown sugar. You can't go wrong. But
Um,
I'll tell
You
you
may
what.
go
What
in,
is today?
you may
March
go into a
4th.
diabetic coma, but you can't go wrong.
Okay. But and a little mustard, so and bacon. So when the COVID started, we developed. You could only get together with your small family, and on Sunday nights, Patrick and his family invite their, Tony and Tom over, their family. And last spring they called and said they would include me because we see each other all week anyway. I have to wear a mask. We have to socially distance, and they'll do all the cooking. And I kept saying, I can bring food. I can bring food. No, 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 no. And then as the time went on, late this summer, another couple started coming. It's a very small group. We do what the state of North Carolina says we can do. And so then the other couple invited us to come to their house one time, the McKinneys. And I said, oh, pressure is on. They're expecting me to do this. And I haven't done it. But now I am saying that one Sunday, maybe when Marilyn's up here one time, in the future, I would like for y'all to come to my house for hamburgers and green bean casserole. That's all I want to say about it.
Okay.
Read
Well,
another question, Tony. What, Patrick? I interrupted you.
Oh,
so when we were, a lot of people may not have heard of chicken pie because I went to the grocery store years ago and I asked them where the chicken pie was, and the woman looked at me very confused. And she goes, "Do you mean chicken pot pie?" I said, "No, I want a chicken pie." And she looked confused, and I said, "You're not from the South, are you?" She said, "No, I'm from Pennsylvania." And so some of your people may not
But
have heard
Patrick,
chicken
you're
pie.
right. Okay, Patrick, you're exactly right. Chicken pie doesn't have peas in it and
Carrots,
stuff
right.
like that, carrots and peas and all. Chicken pot pie has all that in there. All right, another question, because I'm gonna.
okay. Here's another question. What did you feed Beaver when he was growing up, especially since you don't cook? P.S. I don't cook either, but I didn't have children. And it's from Sue Crook. I don't know where she's from, but so what did Beaver eat? He ate enough because he's
He
6'8".
ate 6'8", and he's not tiny. He's not thin like he was in high school. So
He's lost a lot of weight. He looks good.
He looks good though.
let me explain to y'all. I traveled out of, I do how many, when you started working for me 42 years ago, Tony, 150 a year, a couple of times, too many. And I traveled maybe when the COVID hit, I was traveling 23 days out of 30. That does not mean that I had 23 shows. You have to, like yesterday was a travel day. Here I am in Tallahassee. It'll take me till late tomorrow afternoon to get home. That's 3-day trip. Sometimes you can do several in a row. But so when I say I traveled 23, I used to travel about 25. That's why Left Brain with me so much. You're on, you just go on the road. So Left Brain fed Beaver. They would go to breakfast every morning. And when I was in town, I tried to fry country ham and get a pre-fab brisket, slap it in there and put it in the table. I felt like I was getting credit for being home, but they didn't go hungry. As a matter of fact, I used to try to fix what I called a guilty meal. When I had been gone a lot, I fixed every dish I knew. The dishes didn't go together. They had no rhyme, no reason to go together. There'd be a pound cake and then a green bean casserole. I mean, and nothing else. But I was trying to get credit. And one day when I left the kitchen and was walking out, I heard Beaver say to Left Brain, "Why does she keep trying?" And I said, "That's it. That's it. I'm not, if they're laughing at me." And they said, in other words, he said, when she leaves, I heard him say one time, "When she leaves, can we go get something to eat?" And I said, "Well, why do I have to do this anymore?" And Left Brain always said, "I didn't marry you for cooking. Don't worry about it." But Beaver had to eat. They just went out all the time. Bonded. They bonded. They bonded at every
Hey,
restaurant in town. Okay.
so
But,
Jeannie,
yeah.
you might want to tell the story about when Beaver worked at the cutting board and
Oh,
got all the chicken locked in his trunk.
well,
Oh, that was Smithfield.
Smithfield,
that's
excuse me.
Smithfield's, and that's a good story. It's also so many minutes long, and I think we'd wipe out about 10 questions. You know what I thought you were going to say? The cutting board story was when Beaver flunked out of college the first time. Don't you remember? He thought the way to see the world was to go from college to college to college, and then he finally got serious, went to Elon and got a degree, and but he we said, "You just come home and you just get a job." I was so angry, lost it. And we were supposed to be playing ball, all this kind of stuff. And it was Randolph-Macon where he lost the car. The story about losing the car. Thank you for reminding me of this, Patrick. So he got a job at the cutting board restaurant and he was washing dishes. And I mean, it was tough in there. And then he started coming home and I was trying not to, he was living at home. I was trying not to ask too many questions, but it looks like later and later he was supposed to be home. And he was, old enough. He'd been in college without us. And we were asking too many questions. And then he said one night, "They want me to take another person that's washing dishes home each night. He needs a ride." And I said, "How far away does he live?" And he lived in prison. I said, "What do you mean? You're driving somebody home who lives in prison?" And they said, "He's a very nice person." So eventually he got promoted and he went to the salad bar and he dressed up more and he had on a hairnet and they did this there. And if you had ever had I guess, I don't know if they can have salad bars now like they did, but I think they can bring you your salad and you check off what you want. Anyway, he worked in a salad bar. And a friend of ours, Tony, I've told her this and she remembers. Do you know the woman who said what she said?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you'll
I'm
figure
not
it
sure.
out. So she came through the salad bar line, and there's the 6'8" Beaver back there with a hairnet, and he's doing the salad bar and doing things. And she says in a loud voice to her son, "Okay, do you see right there? Do you see what's happened to him? Do you remember this? Do you see what's happened to him? He is out of school, and this is where he'll be working for the rest of his life." Well, working anywhere for the rest of your life is, if it's honest, good work, is fine. But she is pointing this out in front of everybody that was in line at the time. And she said, "Beaver, tell him, stay in school, work hard, blah, blah, blah." Do you know who it is, Tony? You do remember who it was.
I do not remember. I honestly don't, but I do remember the
Oh,
story.
you
Yeah.
do remember. So anyway, then he got moved up to greeter. So he had gone from washing dishes, because he has a good personality, washing dishes, to working in the salad bar, to standing in a tuxedo at Christmas, greeting people that came into this very nice restaurant. And he called it, he said, "Mom, you didn't think I'd ever move up the corporate ladder. Watch me go." Later, he managed a restaurant, and y'all, Beaver's doing fine. But I'll tell that chicken story, Patrick. I think I'm thinking about putting that in on the next tape, and it's a long story. So
Excuse
let me
me.
off right
Excuse
now.
me. On the what? On the what?
Oh, no. That's an error on my part. There will be no more tape, Tony. Don't quit.
Thank
Don't
you.
quit. Okay, I'll tell it to y'all when I have more time.
Someone
All right.
wanted to know why your theater's called the Moon. Do you have any idea? Probably
I'm
not.
afraid to ask. I'm absolutely afraid to ask, but but it's supposed to be a great smaller theater. I came here before and the place that runs all the theaters. There's more than one theater. We sold out the theater we're in. I think this is smaller, more boutique-y type. I do not know. I've not been there. But hey, they're willing to have a show, and people have bought tickets, and we're going to have an absolutely great time. I got to tell you about the restaurant in this hotel. How clever is this? This DoubleTree in downtown. I'm looking out at the university. When I go up to the 17th floor, I'm looking down at the university. And on the top, they said, this is where I had breakfast. There is a restaurant called Eve, E-V-E, like the eve of Christmas, or like Eve in the Bible. The hotel is on Adam Street. So they put this high-rise hotel, 50 years ago they built this, and then with a thing up there that you can walk around and see for miles. And the restaurant is called Eve at such and such Adam Street. I think that's very clever. But when I got in there, I started looking around, and it's like you're in a garden. I mean, they carried this theme to the whole thing. And in the garden, all of a sudden you saw a feminine hand holding out an apple and a masculine hand reaching for the apple. There was another picture that had her with a snake, and then she had an apple hidden behind her back. The whole thing is precious as far as very clever. So now that everybody knows where I am, here I am. So anyway, I thought that was very clever. What else do y'all want to ask? You want to give away another prize? And Patrick,
Sure.
are you going to sing for us today? I hope so.
Sing for us. But let's give away a couple of prizes.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. The first time I went out of town, I dragged all the names with me, which is kind of silly because Patrick and Tony are at home on the porch. So this works well.
All right. I have a winner.
Is this for a prize? This is for a prize. Okay.
Okay. Carolyn K. Hipps, Hipps. She is from, I believe, Alabama. She says, Jeannie, my son-in-law is the sheriff of St. Clair County in Alabama. We live only 25 miles from Leeds, where Charles Barkley was raised. I asked my son-in-law if he knew Charles, and he said he had met him, but he did not personally know him. And then it says Seymour, and we cut it off. So I don't know what else to say. But she wins the prize. Carolyn K.
She wins a prize. So she almost knows of Charles Barkley. I just think I would love to interview him so badly.
6 degrees, sort of a 6 degrees of separation thing, but
Tony, I'm thinking maybe I should contact Sonny Smith.
That would probably be good. But you know, this weekend Charles's daughter's getting married, and so he's very busy. Big wedding.
That's why I haven't ever get it. Okay,
that's right.
Is she getting married in Leeds, Alabama? Is she getting married in Tallahassee? There's a wedding.
No. She's. I don't know where. I think it's in California, but I'm not sure where.
Well,
and I'm not sure about that.
Best of luck to them, and if they have the sense of humor that her daddy has, they're gonna be fine. I always tell anybody getting married, they'll say, "Can you give us advice?" Yes. Keep a sense of humor. Left brain would say the same thing. Okay. What's another question?
Okay. Another prize.
Another prize. How many prizes are you giving away?
I'm digging around, and there's quite a few in here. Okay, this is going to Gail Fulcher Carter.
Okay,
she's from, I don't know how you say this town in Georgia, H-E-P-H, Hephzibah, Georgia.
Okay.
She loves this story. It's one of her favorites, so I don't know what story she was referring to. But Gail Carter. Middle name Fulcher, Gayle.
Okay. Sometime when we cut with our cutting machine, cut off the questions, we miss 3 or 4 ahead of it that tell you what the current topic is. We're just doing the best we can and having a good time, if you want to know the truth. All right, ask another question.
Okay. I did see, this was interesting. Linda Krim, our buddy Linda, wrote that she puts peanut butter in her baked beans.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I don't. I love peanut butter and I love baked beans, but I'm not sure I'd put it in there. Then someone else wrote, and I've lost it. I can't go back and find it. Said they put Kahlua in their baked beans.
Okay,
Now,
that sounds good. No, but if Linda Krim suggests it, I might have to try it, or at least take out half of it. How much peanut butter do you put in there?
I don't know. You'll have to let us know. And someone else said they hope that is a restaurant size can if you're putting a whole box of brown sugar. No.
One can of beans, one box of brown sugar. Big difference.
I'm telling you, it's thicker than her fudge is.
That's true. But it's very good. Everybody wants a recipe.
This question is from, I'm not going to use this question, but I'll put it in there since I do it.
Hold it a minute. Hold it. Okay, hold it 1 minute. This week on my Facebook page, me of all people giving cooking advice, they started arguing. Somebody wrote and said that in stores, it's not stores, restaurants, that when they got anything like a cheese sandwich, there was a pickle on it. And her son didn't eat pickles, and they would take the pickles off, but he could still smell them and he wouldn't eat them. And everybody said, I've never heard of such a thing. I put pickles on my toasted cheese sandwiches. I get the bread and butter flat ones and put it on there, put it in my George Foreman machine, and it becomes a panini. And y'all, if you haven't tried pickles. So I just wanted to interrupt you, Tony, because it's not often that I contribute to any discussion on food. And here we've done baked beans, string bean casseroles, and now cheese
Jeannie Panini.
The Jeannie
The Jeannie Panini. Okay, no, this question was, have you managed to get a hold of Charles Barkley yet? We've answered that, but it's Sandy Gratz, Graetz, and I'm going to put her into the prize bag since I drew it, but you don't need to answer that. We just talked about that.
But I did have somebody this week say they may have a contact that I might could get a phone call. In other words, Charles may not be coming here. By the way, next week on the show, which would be the lobby of a hotel in Tallahassee, we're here. But next week's show, I have a person that we all know named Kay Francis, who's a member of the National Speakers Association. She's a member of my Tall Woman's Peg professional emphasis group that meets for a little bitty breakfast every convention. And she's a comedian, and she'll be on next week. And she has a character that she's created that's going to interview me, by the way. That'll be interesting. And then the week after that, it will be 1 year anniversary from doing these shows that I promised y'all I would do till COVID is over, and I thought it'd be about 3 months. So it will have been 1 year. We'll be starting with show 53, and it's going to be fun. And I've asked somebody to come on that, a special somebody to come, and all I said was they are coming from Nashville. And she's won a Grammy for a single. She's won a Grammy for a duet. She's won a Grammy for writing songs. But I'm not going to tell you until after this weekend's show. And y'all have guessed everybody in the world. So Amy Grant and her husband Vince Gill are not coming. Naomi Judd is not coming. Dolly Parton is not coming. I mean, y'all had some great guests, but you have also guessed who is coming. So I'll wait and let that go another day or two and announce it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's called building up momentum. And I don't want to take away from Kay Francis. Okay.
One more question, and then Patrick, you'll sing for us. This is a good one. I did not ask this question, but I could. Kathy LaRock asked, do you think you'll ever retire?
Pardon me?
You heard me. Do you think you'll ever retire?
Absolutely, because Tony and Patrick and my bestest friend Norma Rose and Jane Tucker are among the very few people, and I guess Beaver, who have sworn to me that if I go out and I'm on stage and I think I'm doing well, but people in the audience are saying you should have heard her when she was really good, that they will tell me it's time to retire. I don't want to be out there if I'm struggling. So, yeah, I guess so. When do you think that might be, Tony? What's your name again?
I don't know after that slip of the tongue about the next tape.
No, I'm not going to do it. I said I would, but I haven't got enough material after doing this show and Neil Steele's show for a year. Trust me, the new material forced forth. But that's a lot of work, Tony. There are other ways to get those stories out there. Y'all have supported me on YouTube so much. We are at 107 million views on YouTube, headed toward 108 million. Tony, there's the question. When do you think you're going to retire?
Well, obviously not until you do.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Right
What else
there.
can I do? What else can I
42
do?
years. Her children were tiny when I used to give them a candy bar every time they would come in the house. It's crazy.
They were 4 and 7 when we started. And Patrick's wife, Leslie, along with Patrick, will turn 50 this year.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah.
No way.
No way. All right,
Yes,
Patrick, you got
way.
your guitar? We did, and remember 3 or 4 weeks ago, I started by interviewing my cast of characters and then family members and then just friends I would call and say, well, y'all come and be on the show. And about 3 weeks ago, Patrick, or 4, somebody had said, not somebody, a lot of people had said, when are you going to interview Patrick? Because they were saying, when this is over, he needs to get in your business. He was in my business till COVID hit and all the conventions got canceled, and we'll be back too. So we did a show with Patrick, and y'all loved it. We have a lot of questions left. So Patrick, what you gonna do today? I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, I'm going to play you a song I wrote about being from the South, growing up in Alabama, going to school in Mississippi, and then spending so much time in Nashville. Now I live in North Carolina, so I've made a big old lap around the southern states. But as I travel all over the country and I talk to people, I find out that we have a lot in common, the way I grew up and the way they grew up. And so I wrote a song about it. And a lot of times people will say, yeah, that's my hometown. Well, drive-throughs, barbecues, pickup trucks, sea-doos, Friday nights, friendly fights downtown for a cruise, loving in the backseat, cut off jeans, bare feet, cold beer, steer clear, county sheriff on the beat. Snow cones, George Jones, catfish, styrofoam, buck knives, beehives, dogwoods, dirt roads, pine trees, plum jam, black labs, country ham, skeeter bites, flying kites, hallelujah, yes, ma'am. Maybe small town, but we ain't small time. Yeah, we're country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Caroline, yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine. Town square, summer nights, watermelon pillow fights, port swings, radio, softball, firefly, skinny dipping, stone skipping, Hank Jr. night fishing, water skiing, daydreaming, pick a branch for switching, football, NASCAR, camping underneath the stars, t-shirts, red dirt, sweet tea and mason jars, hound dogs, goatees, John Deere, little league, swimming pool, Sunday school, slip and slide, hide and seek. Did I mention 3-part harmony? Maybe small town, but we ain't small time. Yeah, we're country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Caroline, yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine. Bass boats, flatbeds, fried chicken, frog legs, church on Sunday, work on Monday, Cracker Barrel, tool shed, southern living, well wishing, slow dancing, slow kissing, country beat, wipe your feet before you walk in mama's kitchen. Maybe small town, but we ain't small time. Yeah, we're country boys, living a country life. From Arkansas to Caroline, yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine. Yeah, we're keeping it country, y'all. That suits us fine.
Wow, way to go.
Very
People
nice.
behind me. People behind me in the lobby are clapping.
we oh good. But Jeannie, before you start, Patrick, I know we have trolls, and there's one that's driving people crazy. Dave Collins, would you just get rid of him if you can?
I'm on it.
I know everybody wants us to get them. Just ignore them until we can get to it. We're a little busy today with all our hands going on here, but we will get there.
Well,
Okay.
I apologize for this. We get trolls. And what happens is we do get a lot of people that tune in, and I appreciate every person. Let me tell you that I eventually read every comment that's made when I do the pop-ups, and sometimes there's 1,000 people at the very beginning of a pop-up. And so I read them, and the trolls pick up on the number of people, and these people get on. And I've said before, y'all, if they're telling you that they just love to meet you and you look so pretty and you sound so pretty in your questions, what are they talking about? We will get to them. And Patrick's busy usually on the show, and Tony's busy blocking people immediately. And once you block them once, they go all the way down if they put others on too, that we don't even think they're human beings all the time. Are they bots? Is that what y'all calling them, bots?
Yeah, like not even real. Yeah, mainly just keep ignoring. If everybody just ignore them, that's what you need. What the people need to do. We'll get rid of them when we can. Yeah.
But y'all, unless you just have a whole lot of attention in the grocery store because of the way you look and smile, disregard what they're saying. I mean, I start laughing when they're telling me that you're just so gorgeous and you smile and what you have on. I'm thinking, bots, trolls, out of here. Okay, all right, Tony. Now let's
what do you want?
Did you find him, Patrick?
No,
he's there. You'll find him.
He told me I was good looking, so I'm gonna let him hang out for a little while.
Wrong. Okay,
y'all just don't. If you had half
the question,
if you're having half as much fun as the three of us have putting this on every Saturday, congratulations. Yeah, let's give away the newest item, the week of Christmas
audio book,
7 hours and 20 minutes, done by Patrick, recording Jeannie in the closet upstairs, and it's a great item. 7 CDs, especially if you have somebody like we do who might be living in a place right now where they're taken care of, that other people can listen to this, or if your mama can't read the book, that kind of thing. So, Patrick, let's give that away.
Okay, here's a winner. Susie Perez.
Susie Perez.
And Susie, I don't know where she's from, but she has a good question on this comment as well.
Okay.
When you travel, do you overpack just in case you change your mind or the weather changes or you spill something? I do, mainly for the spills. I know what a good packer you are. And in fact, I think whenever we get around to doing the closet show, I think you're going to show them how to pack. Jeannie's the best packer I know.
Well, I take one small rolling cart and a purse, and they laugh at my purse because it's big. But the purse
it's bigger than your. If it wasn't bigger than your rolling cart, we wouldn't laugh. But yes,
whatever the airlines will let me take, and I can pack for 2 weeks in this little rolling cart. Now, I'm not saying I'm looking good every day. And then after a week, if you might not need to wash something out, but I just don't want to check my bag. But the one time of year I have to check my bag is when, Tony?
The one time of year is to go into the convention.
The National Singers Association. See, I can wear an outfit for 3 or 4 shows in a row. You're only out there for an hour and a half. You know, it'll work. But I always have a spare. Always have a spare, because you just don't run out to Walmart and get a new outfit when you're tall like I am. Although I'm shrinking, maybe I could get to it. Jane Tupper has
gone out to Walmart.
Patrick has had to go buy the clothes he left hanging in the closet.
I'm the worst packer. I've went to a convention for a week and I realized that I left all my pants hanging in the closet. But I went to give a speech in South Dakota. I believe it was South Dakota. And realized I didn't have pants. I had the pants I was wearing.
He had
tall-
pants on.
How
He did
tall
have
are you?
pants
How
on.
tall are you, Patrick?
I'm 6'4", so I was waiting at Walmart for him to open, and I went and bought new pants and a shirt for
Well,
$23.
you pack. I'll tell you now. This is not true now during COVID, but I will show you my system. I have a movable drugstore with me when I go, and I never unpack it. And unless I know I use something in there, I just don't unpack. I just change the outfit. And one big tip that I got from Jane Tucker is pick a color. Don't say I'm going to wear these 3 black outfits, but look, I think I'll take this brown outfit too, because you're seeing different people. All of a sudden, you got to have different shoes and different jewelry. So you figure out. And I'll tell you something, it's not as strict as it used to be, because we have a speaker named Doc Blakely that lives in Wharton, Texas. Hilarious guy. And I picked him up in Raleigh one day. He had a speech, and he got off, and he had on that Texas tie bolo that comes down in jeans and boots. And he said, well, my luggage didn't arrive at all. And I said, well, come on, we'll find somewhere to buy something. And he said, I don't think so. I'll just speak in this and tell them my clothes didn't arrive. So that's you used to. I used to speak in long dresses for every banquet with gloves that went up to here. Now I figured it out. If you don't feel like packing a lot, you just tell them your luggage didn't get there.
Well, I've given a speech with 2 left shoes on.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You don't even
No.
have to make that up.
But see if the same thing happened to you, Patrick. I had shoes in navy and black, and I had 2 of them. And as I talked, I turned in a circle, because you were going. I had the 2 left shoes. The toes were both going a certain way, and you just turned, And so finally, I told the crowd, it was nurses. It was in Florida, and I got about halfway around, and then I would just hop and turn back to the front. If I'd had the right shoes, I would have been going the other way. So, did men's shoes work the same way?
I don't have navy shoes, but yeah, I just suffered through it.
Well, we'll do anything for a new piece of material.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 12:55. Do we have let's give away 2 more prizes and then ask quick questions first. And Tony, I'm counting on you to pull a question out of the bucket.
Okay, these are regular prizes. Choice of whatever.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Here is a winner.
We gave out of the left brain brown hats, but now we ordered them again.
We're good on hats. Julie Julee McCamey. I think we pulled Julie before, but for a question probably a long time ago. Can't believe it's been a year. Thank you for all the time you've given us. So Julie McCamey wins a prize. I don't know where she's from.
Okay, because she didn't ask a question. She's in that other bag. Put that over there. Congratulations. Winners, go to Tony at Jeanne Robertson, NoahandJeannie.com, and tell them where to send your prize, regular mail. All right, what's the next one, Tony?
Okay, one more. This is one more prize. Kylie, Kylie Sullivan. Way far from here for friendly. I don't know where she's from or what. That was just a statement.
She's
Kylie
Sullivan. I wrote that. She was from Australia, I think. Somewhere like that. Great. How much is that?
That's going to cost you a fortune. Anyway, Kylie Sullivan wins a prize.
Can I point something out? I told you that in 2 weeks, it'll be the 1-year anniversary. Actually, we'll be starting. That'll be show number 53, starting over. However, Tony said when I started, I will never be on this show. Don't ever ask me to be on the show. I'm a backstage worker, and you will not. Now, do you notice she reaches in a bag, pulls it up like she's announcing a new Queen of England, and
well,
gets
I can read, so okay.
Okay.
You want a question?
I have a question. Yeah. And if I don't answer on something funny, you have to keep asking the question. I learned that from Irma Bombeck. You have to keep asking until I get something I can be funny on.
Okay, I don't know if you'd be funny on this, but it's from Karen Barwick in Sumter, South Carolina. Wondering if you ever got to meet Minnie Pearl, Phyllis Diller, or Carol Burnett in person. I
Only
loved
one.
watching all of them when I was young. And
Okay.
you can answer it or I can.
Okay. No, I did not meet Mrs. Henry Cannon, one of the classiest women, as I understand it, and she played Minnie Pearl. And Doc Blakely, the one I just told you about, did get to meet her. I did not get to meet Phyllis Diller. I would have loved to have talked with Phyllis Diller or Tony Fields or any of those women in early comedy, but Norma Rose and see, who was the other person? Norma Rose.
Me?
Tony
What do you
Meredith,
mean?
and Jeannie got to go and see Carol Burnett, and we got to meet her afterwards. I don't know if she would remember us, but she might, because Norma Rose kept trying to push me out of the picture, didn't she, Tony?
She did. She did.
You
That,
stood
we ought to
behind
find that.
Carol.
We ought to find that picture and show it because it was a good
Pushed me
picture.
out. I got us backstage. I invited them to go. I bought the tickets, and they were not cheap. And so Carol Burnett was in a chair here, and she's fantastic, by the way. And then Tony was behind her left shoulder, and then Norma Rose was behind her right shoulder, which puts me out of the picture. They were set up to, and I said, Norma Rose, move over. Move over. And she said, what? And I said, move over. I'm not in the picture. And she said, oh, for Pete's sake, move over, Tony. Jeannie wants in the picture.
Yeah, that was fun. But we'll find that picture.
Did I lie, Tony? Am I lying?
No.
Am I stretching?
Absolutely true.
No. Norma Rose.
Okay, I think it's
By the
about.
way, somebody said to me this week, when will Norma Rose ever be on again? She was on the Show Cootery show. We called her cheating. We called her cheating. So,
Well, but we haven't banned her from the show.
oh,
She'll be back. She'll be back.
all right.
She has a life, so we let her have a life.
Okay. Hey, y'all. There's a small crowd of interested people behind me in the lobby. They want to know what in the world is going on.
Well,
I
it's
gotta find
time
somebody
to go. It's
help me
actually
move this
time
chair.
for the Auburn Mississippi State basketball game is starting at 1.
Thank you for reminding us, Tony. I appreciate that. She knows every game and every score. And then you said Elon's basketball team has won the last 4.
They've won 4 in a row, and they're playing. I don't know where they're playing, but they're playing today, I believe. Football's getting ready to start,
Walking
and
sports
baseball.
encyclopedia. Y'all, if you've had a good time, I've had a good time. And I've got this new computer, and I had standbys waiting back here, students from FSU. So we got fine. Hey, Patrick, thanks for making this possible again. And
Of course.
I'll be home tomorrow afternoon. Am I invited to your house for dinner tomorrow?
Yes.
We'll have
are.
a plate for you.
Yeah, we'll wait dinner for you.
Isn't that when the Duke Carolina game is on?
No, that's tonight at 6.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll be there tomorrow night. Do you want me to bring a green bean casserole?
No, thanks.
Bye, y'all.
She's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson. Oh, she's a heck of a lot of fun, Jeanne Robertson.